What's good, people? Welcome back to the video. Today we're acting to 21 Pilots Car Radio. So this is the third track I'm checking out. I'm not entirely sure if all the tracks I've checked out are off the same project. I just really haven't done my research, so someone let me know in the comments below. This is the third of like the three most requested 21 Pilots tracks that I've had. Heavy Dirty Soul and Lame Boy, I fuck with really heavy, man. Especially Lame Boy, that was just crazy. Really took me by surprise. Again, just outlining their extreme versatility, which I appreciate massively. That's what I've really enjoyed the most about their music, is you don't know what to expect. And once again, I don't know what to expect with this either, so I'm excited. You guys seem to really like this one. It's been suggested a bunch, so I'm going to check this out, and then guys, chuck some more stuff in the comments below that you want me to check out, and I'll definitely get around to them as soon as possible because I'm really enjoying this journey so far. It's probably one of my favorite journeys. It's only 2 tracks deep and I've just really messed with it, and they've been really fun to react to. Before we jump into it, guys, if you are new around here, please drop a sub. We're on the road to 2K and we're trying to hit that as soon as possible. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram in the description below, and of course drop a like and a comment on the video as well. I really appreciate it. Without further ado, guys, let's just get into this, man. We have another music video as well. I've really messed with the last 2 music videos too, so looking forward to this, man. 21 Pilots Car Radio. Let's jump straight into it.
I ponder of something great. My lungs will fill and then deflate. They fill with fire, exhale desire. I know it's dire, my time today. I have these thoughts so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought, cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence.
I find his tone and sort of the way he portrays his emotion really impressive. You know how his voice just like sort of breaks slightly at the end of sentences? I feel like adds just another layer of emotion. So far his voice is actually sounding quite different to the last 2 tracks as well, almost a bit more articulate, which is interesting. I'm just intrigued to know where this is going to go, man. After Lame Boy, I'm just like, well, you know, I'm prepared for absolutely anything, or the complete opposite. I'm not entirely sure.
Sometimes quiet is violent. I find it hard to hide it. My pride is no longer inside. It's on my sleeve, my skin will scream, reminding me of who I killed inside my dream. I hate this car that I'm driving. There's no hiding for me. I'm forced to deal with what I feel. There is no distraction to mask what is real.
So does someone actually steal his car radio, or is that a metaphor for something else? Someone let me know in the comments below. Just give me a bit more context. He said he no longer has anything to distract him from what's real, whether he's talking about the radio distracting him or music distracting him.
I could pull the steering wheel. I have these thoughts so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought, cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence.
And he's doing that for real. That's crazy, bro. Nice drums, man. Cinematic almost. Nice bass line as well. Nice synth. I can't believe he's actually doing that for a music video, bro.
I ponder of something terrifying, cause this time there's no sound to hide behind. I find over the course of our human existence, one thing consists of consistence, and it's that we're all battling fear. Oh dear, I don't know if we know why we're here. Oh my, too deep, please stop thinking. I liked it better when my car had sound. There are things we can do, but from the things that work there are only 2, and from the 2 that we choose to do, peace will win and fear will lose. There's faith and there's sleep. We need to pick one, please, because faith is to be awake, and to be awake is for us to think, and for us to think is to be alive.
Sorry, I really didn't want to pause then and interrupt what he was saying, but I had to get a word in. So the vibe I'm getting is that his car radio was stolen, and he keeps mentioning that he has nothing to distract him from the sound. You know, it's silence in his car, almost like the music is a distraction from sort of issues. I presume him shaving his head is sort of a portrayal of angst, almost, you know, sort of representing his anger and emotion towards the situation he's talking about. You guys mentioned to me that a lot of his stuff is very emotionally driven, you know, he's dealt with some issues, and I'm finding that a lot from doing this channel, that when an artist is able to sort of put out their emotion and talk about problems, they basically pop off because people can just relate so well. I just feel like there's such a point in the market for that sort of stuff. If you think about really successful artists, like for example 21 Pilots, I've done some NF, you look at like Juice WRLD for example as well, you know, he's not everyone's cup of tea, but you know, he's constantly talking about his emotions and the issues he's going through. Obviously not to the scale of an NF or a 21 Pilots, but you get what I'm trying to say. I just think it's interesting, and I really appreciate an artist that's able to sort of put everything out on the line and be vulnerable to the listener. I feel like it's really dope, so I'm messing with this one.
I will try with every rhyme to come across like I am dying to let you
His
know.
delivery is really nice on this too.
I have these thoughts so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought, cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence.
Sling the beanie on. Beanie, balaclava, sorry. Just got so sinister so quickly. Oh shit. No way. Did he actually shave it backstage and then literally go out into the live show? Is this literally the same thing? This is a whole like one shot thing that is ridiculously impressive. And the fact that he's got the whole entire crowd to be still. I'm loving this sort of electronic sound that's come in as well. There he is. Again, it's like a dance tune now. So it definitely is a live show, like an actual live show. He's got short hair as well, as he shaved his head too. So it is obviously an actual live show. I love that they're able to do that. They're able to interact with the crowd and get everyone to sort of just sit and stare in one direction and then it just kick off. I love seeing music videos at live shows. They did it with Lameboy as well. This is very similar to an extent, to be honest. You know, it was that slow sort of drums, that bass line, the synths, and it's come into this sort of like dance, electronic sort of sound, which I've come to really appreciate. It usually isn't my cup of tea, but I think these guys do it really well and execute it really well. Now we just sit in silence. And now I just sit. And now I just sit in silence. And now I just sit in silence. And now I just sit in silence. I feel genuinely bad pausing it, especially when stuff like this is going on. But I just want to say I can't even imagine how crazy their live shows must be. I actually had an opportunity to see them live a few years ago at a festival. I obviously knew nothing about them, and I think there was someone else on I wanted to see, so I didn't go see them. I'm pretty sure some of my friends went and saw them and said they were really impressive. So, you know, I sort of regret that in hindsight, but, you know, it was a good few years ago. I was young and didn't really know, but I'm sure this would be fantastic. This looks great. I mean, the fact that they just do this, the music videos at the live shows, I mean, like, that's just hard in itself. Ooh, I like that, man. Love that. Oh, now it's completely empty.
I bind her of something great. My lungs will fill and then deflate.
It's almost like the live show was him in the car with music, and now the car radio's gone, and there's nobody there. And now he has his hair again, which is interesting. That sort of spammed me out. I feel like the video doesn't necessarily correlate directly with the song, but that's sort of okay. It's just like sort of filled with metaphors almost.
Fill with fire, exhale desire. I know it's dire, my time today. I have these thoughts so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought. Cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence.
Oh, I just fell off the stage. Okay guys, that was 21 Pilots Car Radio. Thank you so much for anyone that recommended that. That was really dope, man. I was thinking in my head just before this finished, like, what is my favourite of the three that I've heard so far? And honestly, I feel like they all have such amazing qualities, all three of them, that I couldn't really put my finger on one. But this was definitely up there. This and Lameboy were sort of relatively similar. Obviously, the sound was different, but the whole sort of like slow start to an extent, and then breaking out into this sort of electronic dance, but still hitting those drums as well. I think the fusion is really dope, but I just really like this. I really enjoyed the music video to this. I thought it painted a really dope picture. I like the concept as well. I feel like a lot of people do rely on music to sort of drown out other shit going on. I mean, I'm definitely guilty of it. If I've got some shit going on, I just whack on some headphones and just jam out some stuff, and it does take you to a different place, and that's not always positive. I think what he was trying to get at is he didn't realise that until he didn't have his car radio, he didn't have any music to depend on, and then he only had himself and his thoughts, that can be a scary thing. I think the concept of that is really dope, so I really enjoyed this. Thank you to everyone who recommended it, like I mentioned before. Anyway guys, if you liked the video, drop a like. If you enjoyed my reactions off the point you want to see me again, then please drop a sub. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram in the description below. If you have any requests for any 21 Pilots, put in the comments below, because I'm so up for carrying on this journey with you guys. It's been really fun so far. But for the meantime guys, I've been Charlie, and I'll see you in the next one.